Okay, so combining like terms. So for combining like terms for solving equations, combining like terms in general just means grouping up things that are the same. So here's, if we looked at all of these terms, 3x, 8x, 5x, these are all like terms. And the reason why is because they each have an x. Okay, now let me throw a curveball, right? Because what if we had 2x squared, 5x squared, and negative 3x squared? Well, those all have an x, but these are x squared. So these are not like terms with those. They're like terms by themselves. Okay. Here's another one to look at. 2xy, 5xy, negative 8xy, and what about negative 2.5yx? Well, we've got two that look identical, xy. We have a negative, but it looks like an xy, so those are all the same. We have a decimal in here. We haven't looked at those, but those are okay too. But what about xy? Well, if we do a little thought bubble over here, x times y, is that the same as y times x? And the answer turns out to be yes, and here's why. If we use numbers, 3 times 2, will that equal 6? And what's 2 times 3 if I flip the order? It's still 6. So with multiplication, it doesn't matter. So these are all like terms. So how do we do this? Well, if I put a combination, a group of like terms, let's say 5x minus 8x plus 2xy plus 3yx minus 10 plus 2. Okay, well, that's kind of a long list. So I can do this a lot of different ways. I can use shapes, colors, whatever. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually think about this as grouping terms that are the same. So these have just x's. There's no others. These have xy's, even though they're out of order in this one. And these have no x's. Okay. So if I think about this right here, grouping these, well, 5x minus 8x is going to be negative 3x. If I think about grouping these, I've got 2xy's and 3xy's. You can even think of it as like fruit or anything you want to count. I've got 2 pairs plus 3 pairs. Well, 2 pairs plus 3 pairs would give me 5 pairs. And then if we add these two numbers together, we get negative 8. My final answer isn't this, but my final answer is the expression with all of those together. Negative 3x plus 5xy minus